go live. So it'll tell me in a minute. It's always live a little bit before you think it is. So hello, Facebook. I think I am live. So let's see if we can see that. You can then see a very disconcerting video of yourself going live on Facebook. So hello, everyone. Welcome to Tack Room Chat. As always, drop us a comment if you're here, because I can't see anybody's names. I can see the number of viewers, but if you pop a comment in, your name will come up, so I'll be able to see who's here. So welcome to Tack Room Chat. Tonight I am chatting to Becca, who is one of our brand ambassadors. So welcome, Becca.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. So we're very excited to have you here, and I thought maybe we could just talk about a little bit what you do with your horse. So what's your horse's name?
Frankie.
Oh, and Frankie's a mare?
She is a thoroughbred ex-racer. She is coming up 12 years of age.
Lovely.
Yeah, she's a typical mare.
Wonderful. And what do you do with Frankie? What's your sort of main activity, or you might do a mixture of activities? What do you do with her?
Yeah, so we had it in November after I lost my Welsh D. And when we bought her, she'd done a mixture of everything. So my aim was to get out competing and see how it went. And we went lots of places. We went lots of competitions. We reached the goals we wanted to.
Yeah.
Little goals of 50s, 60s, 70s at a push. Don't want to sort of overdo her in the first, we're sort of still getting to know each other, even though it's now been a year, which is very scary to think I've had her for a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just more than anything, it's building confidence and it's building the partnership together and just taking time to work out how she works, but also I think she's working out how I work as well, which is good.
Yeah. So what would you say has been one of your biggest challenges in terms of getting going or getting to know each other?
So a very good friend of mine, she is on Instagram, and she's called the Average Amateur Eventing.
Yeah.
And she owns a thoroughbred, and she's amazing, Casey is. And I said to her that I was venturing out into the thoroughbred world. As coming from a Welsh D into a thoroughbred is very different. Even just going from a geld into a mare is very different. They're completely different animals. And she suggested that the best thing that I would to do with Frankie would be to just hack, 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 hack. And that's what we did for the first, I would say, 3 months. We just hacked, and to get to know each other, and just realize what makes her tick. Because obviously she's got certain quirks. She loves, obviously being an ex-racer, she loves to run. So where we live is very rural. So we're sort of single track roads with nice big verges. But her biggest thing was, as soon as she touched the grass, she wanted to go. And obviously, it's great going fast. Of course, it's great going fast, but in reality of in getting her fit properly, we're needing to walk and trot. So I would say the biggest thing we've overcome would be, and it sounds very simple, is walking on a field, is being able to pull on the verge if a car comes and she's nice and relaxed, and it's like, okay, I don't have to bomb off at 900 miles an hour. There's no start gate and things. Yeah, I'd probably say that is the biggest challenge we've overcome in the last year, would be for her to not go on the grass. She goes on the grass. I spent many hours battling to get her on the grass. But yeah, just walking nicely on the buckle, on the grass, not being that we're going to bomb off is probably the biggest hurdle we've overcome, probably, I would say, in this year.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it probably then translates into everything that you do. It just makes her a little bit more calmer when you go out. And
yeah, she was obviously, everybody can relate. I find that I do get very nervous, yourself. I do get very nervous before I go somewhere. I find that, I think about what could happen before it actually happens. It's things that I can't control, but that's what gets me. It's the like, well, what happens if we, say if we're going competing, well, what happens if she doesn't look at the fence? Well, there's nothing that I can do to stop that. That's just my head overthinking. And yeah, it's been tricky, but with getting her to relax and getting her to sort of realize that it's okay has progressed in her being nice and calmer, and we don't have as many explosive moments. I mean, every horse has explosive moments, every horse has a certain particular thing that makes them be excited. So yeah, it's all in all just making her realize that she can relax, and doing certain techniques, getting into a routine just makes her relax when we're out. And that is one of the big things that's helped us.
Yeah. And do you feel over that time, so you've had her for sort of 12 months, that you've been able to create a bond with her? Do you feel like you've been able to bond, and that has helped?
So if I'm 100% honest, I would say no. I would say that I am 80% there.
Yeah.
Obviously you've known me before having Frankie. I had Tom for many, many years. And I think that going from one horse to another horse is a big transition. Obviously he got put to sleep, so it wasn't like that I could still see him in a new home and still realize that, perhaps he just reached the level that he could take me at. So yeah, I would say we're probably 80%. And I think I'm hoping that this coming season next year we'll still be able to just keep building and knowing each other, I suppose. I mean, people say, well, it's been a year, you should know that she can do this, but it's kind of like, I don't think you 100% know what your animal is going to do 100% of the time. For me, it's knowing when she's going to almost go, oh, I'm going to get really excited, mum, and we're going to have a party. And it's just it is still getting to know each other, and our journey is still very new. Even though I feel we've accomplished a lot this season, it's still very new. And I mean, I could get on next season and she'll be like, whoa, I don't have a clue what we're doing. I've never seen any of these things before in my life. So I suppose that's a new hurdle, is to have, I mean, I haven't ridden her since the second week in September, and I plan to get on the 1st of January. And bring her back into work. So that's also a new thing. Or how's she going to react having 3, potentially 4 months off, and just also bringing her back into work. I'm hoping she's going to have benefited a lot from having this time off. Is the aim. I'm a big believer that we work them really hard in the season. You can be out 4 or 5 days a week, even if you're just hacking. But I'm a big believer that they've got to have their own time.
Yes.
They've got to relax. They've got to they've just got to be a horse. And when I got Frankie, I did a lot of research into sort of ulcer prevention, because people are like, oh, thoroughbreds get ulcers. And one of the things that I read, and it stuck in my mind, that if you leave a horse for longer than 2 weeks and you don't touch it, you just leave it, you bring it in and you feed it, that is a massive de-stressor for that horse, because they just return to, just neutral, because nobody's messing with them. She comes in and I do a rug check 3 times a week, and that is it. I don't mess with her in any other way. That's what her life has been since September, through my choice, not through any other choice, through my choice of having given her that time off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's amazing. I really agree with you. I think that horses have got to be horses, and I think they benefit from holidays and time off in the same way we do.
100%.
Yeah, just having that
100%. My
downtime.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter's got a little pony, JJ, that you know, and she had a fabulous season on him. And she took him to all the local shows. You know, he was out 3 or 4 times a week. And he is an old chappy. You know, he's not getting any younger, as they say. And we let him have 2 months off. And she rode it. She had a rally, and I was like, oh, we'll have to take him. And he was really flat, and he was really just not enthusiastic. And I said, well, we're just going to have to give him longer. And on my Facebook yesterday, she took him, and you would think it was a completely different pony. It was flying, and it was literally almost like he'd stuck the batteries on charge, he's charged them up, and now he's ready to go again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's that rest, isn't it? I mean, we all like a rest. We all like going to sit on the beach and, you know, whatever tickles your fancy. I mean, perhaps not the snowy weather, but yeah, having that time off, I think, is really beneficial. And it's also, you can see them in a more natural way. I believe that, you know, they come in, you see them with each other, you know, she knows exactly where she's going. You watch her in the stable of a night time, you know, and I feel I'm getting to know her more that way, horsemanship way, where there's no tack involved. You know, I'll give her a quick, you know, sort of hello rub, and that's it. And she appreciates that. And then you get sort of the typical mare, the ears go back, and oh, I've had enough now, mum, I want to eat my tea. But that, having that little bit of a bond, is doing more than, I believe, of keep messing with her every day.
Yeah. 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 I think that's really, really sensible. And I think that's probably something that we have almost forgotten. It's you know, it's much more normal to keep your horses going year round now, but they do really benefit from that downtime. That's something that I learned years and years ago, to give horses downtime in that way. But it's quite a brave decision. I
It
think
is.
quite brave to do that.
It is. I'm not quite sure if it's madness or, I mean, I've done it. It's not that because she's a thoroughbred, or you know, I did it with Tom. Tom had the winter off. Like I said, where we are, we're very rural. So the weather up here can be completely different to what it is, say, in Welshpool.
Yeah.
So really, it's very convenient for me. You know, I don't have to battle the dark nights. Obviously Isla's still out on the pony, but it just becomes a lot easier. You know, you're not battling, oh god, I've got to get out and ride. There's no pressure, and also there's
taking that pressure off yourself. There's no expectations.
no, there's no expectation. There's no, I feel very guilty I'm not riding. I do miss riding. The first couple of weeks I was like, oh, this is quite nice. I'm just mucking out and I'm just pottering along. And then by October, I think I was biting my fingernails and I was ready to get back on.
Yeah.
But it's remembering the positive outcome it's going to have on her. But yeah, it could be madness. It could be, you know, the 1st of January I get back on and we're back to sort of, you know, rocking horse, you know, oh, we're going. But no, I'm hoping that, you know, we'll overcome it. It's all new hurdles. But you know, it should be. It should be good.
Yeah, good. Well done. I think that's really fantastic. And can you tell me a little bit about your journey with going barefoot?
Yeah. So obviously, you know, through yourself, come to see Frankie with her back. Thoroughbreds are known for having bad feet. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon there and say thoroughbreds have bad feet. But she's not got horrendous feet. I will say they're not awful. But last year we struggled really bad with her feet. My poor farrier Bryn would be, you know, sort of on speed dial. I'm really sorry, Bryn. She's not pulled another shoe. And it got to the point, I think we pulled about 8 shoes.
Wow.
And we ended up with 2 foot abscesses. Which then resulted in her getting colic, because we kept her in. I'm also a big believer that they go out in the day and they come back in at night. Obviously that is everybody's opinion. You know, everybody's situation is different. You know, you might not have the ability to let them out in the winter, they have to be in. You know, I'm very lucky with the facilities that I've got at home that can happen. So yeah, so she got her 2 foot abscesses and it led to colic, which literally tipped me over the edge. It was like, this can't be happening. So we got through the season with shoes, no problem. She didn't pull one at all. We're very lucky. Touch wood, I'll just touch the wood. And then I went on holiday in the end of August, and my lady that looks after my horses said that there's only 3 wheels on Frankie's wagon, as we call it. And I was like, oh no. And luckily the farrier came out and he said, can I put it back on? I probably can, but should I? And we made that decision then, take them off. If you know, I don't want to make her sore by putting the shoe back on. And also I could see what it was doing to her feet by pulling them off. So we made the decision to go barefoot. It would be in the first week of September. So we're now, what are we now? October, November, coming into say the beginning of December. The first 2 weeks, I thought I'd made the most biggest mistake of my life. She come out like, oh, 2 steps forward. We'd stand there for 10 minutes debating whether she could walk across the yard. But now she's grand. It's I believe, I hope I've made the right decision. My farrier is amazing. You know, I was sort of farrier led as well to sort of 8 weeks trim, because I mean when she was having her shoes on, it was every 6 weeks. So we were never really getting any foot growth because we were worried about keeping the shoe on.
Yep.
So she's now got a really good foot length. You know, they're looking really good. I do use supplements. I use biotin, and I follow a company on Instagram, which is has Ben Mayer as a sponsor. And that is called Better Hooves, Better for Hooves. And that has a mixture of everything to make them grow, which is what she needed. You know, I could take the shoes off, but I need to give her that extra help. So she has those. She has 2 scoops of those. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do when I want to start transitioning from having time off to then working? You know, what if I'm going with this decision of being barefoot, then I'm going to have to find a solution. And a few of my friends said, don't bother, just go with nothing. I think I was being a bit apprehensive that perhaps I didn't know whether I could bite the bullet and go completely, you know, nothing at all. So I looked into Scoot Boots, which is a online company. And I have to say, I 100% recommend them. If you go on, is if you type into Google Scoot Boots and you click on their actual website, because obviously various saddleries and equine shops stock them. But go to the actual Scoot Boot website itself, and there is various videos on there that show you how to fit them, how to take them off, how to measure them, what other people have done with their horses with Scoot Boots on. So we took the plunge and we measured and we sent the sizes over to Scoot Boots, which I must say their customer service was impeccable. I'm not you know, I'm not a sponsor or anything for Scoot Boots. Before anybody says, oh, you know, no, I'm not anything for Scoot Boots. I just have a set myself. And they were great with the customer service. They were really good with fitting, you know, exactly what size you need, because obviously, as they say, every foot is different. And they give you pictures on how you measure them. You send all your pictures in and they give you the size back. And they came out within, I believe it was 6 working days they were with me. I followed the tutorial of fitting them. And we went out for a ride, and I must say it was like having 4 sets of shoes on.
Wow.
It was almost too good to be true. So they were very good. We tried them for a week, and then we decided to let her have her time off. we wanted to make the right decision that we'd bought them for her. It wasn't just going to be a whim. So the idea is that when we transition back into work, we'll do, say, for the first 6 weeks, 2 days in the scoot boots and 1 day bare. And then eventually, as the time goes on, we will reduce the amount that the scoot boots are used to harden the hoof. Competing wise, I suppose that will be what it will be. I will have to see how she goes. The scoot boot company said that lots compete in it, so that was really sort of encouraging, that if I get to there and she's like, well, I can't do it with no shoes on, that I've got an option of that they are still there. And to be honest, I probably will give it a go, show jumping, to see what they're like. But yeah, that's the hope, that we can eventually wean off them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no biggie if we can't, because they're very robustly made. They've got very thick treads on them, so it's not sort of like they're weedy treads and a couple of months they're going to be gone. They're going to last for a while. And an also thing that, which is very good, is you don't have to buy the pairs, because obviously her fronts are different to her backs. So if, say, one was to break, there is an option just to buy that one boot, which I thought was very good, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the goal, that we could, if I could do a 1-day event next year barefoot, would be the ultimate goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you do hear of people going eventing barefoot, and even at 5-star, it's not unheard of
No.
to be barefoot if they can manage it. So I think that's a really good goal. And the more I think about it these days, the more I look back and I think, well, we had shoes on our horses because that's just what you did. You took your young horse to be shod, and actually, did it need to be shod? Well, sometimes no.
I agree with you there. I have a youngster, Welsh, Gino, and he has got feet that are, my farrier said that they are amazing. They are, and going through this process with Frankie, I don't think I will put shoes on him unless I get to a point where he physically needs them.
Yeah.
Because you do see many horses that go out and about without shoes on, and I suppose when I had Frankie, she came with she came with shoes, so I never really sort of questioned the idea that I could potentially take them off and go back to being barefoot. But it's made me really question for Gino whether I would be putting a set of shoes on it. Yeah.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that sentiment, and I think that it's horses for courses. Go with it, just go with it, and if he ends up that he needs shoes, then that's okay. Have some shoes,
it's
but he
definitely
might not need them. Yeah.
No, I suppose it's you've just got to see how they go. I mean, none of our, like, Isla's ponies, none of them have got shoes on. So it's, I believe if it's not broke, let's not try and fix it, kind of scenario.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really agree with that. Well, thank you. That is literally amazing. Thank you, Becca.
You're more than welcome.
If you don't mind, I've got a few quick fire questions for you.
That's okay. I'll try my best.
Okay, so what's your favorite color?
Oh, I'm gonna say chili red. Even though I don't ride in chili red, Tom was chili red and I had a lot of fond memories in it. So I'll go chili red.
Lovely. Okay, what is your favorite season?
Oh, the summer.
Summer. Lovely.
Just where there's no mud. I don't mind any season, just no mud.
What do you prefer, orange or mint chocolate?
Orange.
Orange, love it. What do you prefer, canter or gallop?
Gallop.
Gallop, yes.
I would have said canter a couple of years ago, but yeah, having Frankie's changed my mind a little bit. We'll go gallop.
Excellent. What do you prefer, show jumping or cross country?
Oh, Now, are we talking personally or are we talking nerves? You know, there's two sides to that, isn't there?
What, yeah, maybe what do you prefer to do? Maybe with Frankie, what do you prefer to do with Frankie?
I've got to say cross country. I'm getting the love for cross country.
Right.
I'm liking the flow. She's liking running. Nerves wise, definitely show jumping,
Yeah.
because there is a lot of difference that you can make. You know, a 70 or 80 show jump looks okay. A 70 or 80 cross country jump,
It can
that
be
that's
full of-
pushing that's pushing my
yeah,
my limits there. I'm hitting the button.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, what do you prefer, dressage or hacking?
Hacking.
Hacking, okay. And then if you had £1 million to do anything you wanted with the horses, what would you do?
Oh, what would I do? That's a really hard question.
Tough, isn't it?
That is a really hard question. I think I would buy a lorry.
Oh, nice. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter, sorry, my daughter competes as well, and I think I would buy a lorry, because you can have an arena, but I see a lot of people have arenas and they don't get much use.
Yeah.
And I think my husband would kill me if I bought any more riding clothes or any more riding pictures, should we say? So yeah, I would say a lorry. A lorry is on the bucket list.
And I always think if worst comes to worst, you can live in a lorry.
Yes. Funny enough, I met a lady on Monday, and if she's watching, she'll probably laugh, because she said, I told my husband I'm selling the caravan and we're going to get a trailer, lorry, sorry. And I said, why not? I said, you can still go on vacation in a lorry. You can just have a couple of extra visitors.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Of
Definitely.
course, you can go on holiday in the lorry. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
And then one last question. Can you describe yourself using one word?
Oh, loud.
Yes, brilliant. I like it.
No.
In a good way. In a good way.
In a good way. Yeah, loud in a good way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
definitely.
That's fantastic. Oh, well, thank you so much.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks for all your time. And I can't wait to see you back in action on the 1st of January.
It will be good. You'll be coming out and coming to see him before then.
Taking you over.
But
And is there anywhere that people can follow your progress?
so we're on Instagram, which is Fine Art Adventures, and then I am Becca Meredith on Facebook. It's a very I had a personal Facebook, and I never had Instagram till 4 years ago. And it's very much an honest account. What you see is what you get. People might say, I'm sure I've seen that face on, excuse my language, the shit eventers calendar.
Yeah, I've seen it there.
Yes, we're twice running now. I said to Frankie, we're going to have to think of a way that we get in there again for next year. But I'm a big believer. I lost my confidence. My daughter's 9, so I lost my confidence when I had my daughter, and I got it back 5 years ago. And I'm a big believer in just being honest. You know, everybody has nerves. Everybody feels something. I don't think I don't think anybody can be a robot and they just get on and they do it. I'd like to think that even people competing at 5-star gets nervous.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm sort of, yeah, I'm a big believer that you need to be honest with it. It's okay saying me and Frankie can go and jump a 6-bar gate, and we can go and do this and we can go and do that, but actually we can't. And actually, I can be honest and say going around a 70 cross country course absolutely gives me the fear of God. I am pooping in my pants, and I think in the equestrian world, I think we need more of that. We need more of the shit eventers.
Yeah.
I think we need more of that everybody is, we shouldn't fascinate on what height we are, what height we're jumping, or what anybody's doing on their ponies. It's all about having fun. It's all about getting out there and pushing them, just even if it's something ever so tiny, like, I don't know, turning a cross jump into a straight pole, just pushing it ever so slightly, because, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Once you get there and once you've pushed yourself, it's an amazing feeling. But I don't think anybody should be ashamed of saying, I'm nervous.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
I feel nervous. I mean, I'm very lucky. My mum is my sort of unpaid groom, and my mum could tell you my face looks some awful colours when we're ready to go. When we're ready to go anywhere. I mean, yourself from our conversations of coming with the horses. I don't think anybody should be ashamed to say, "Well, I do get nervous."
Yeah.
Come the 1st of January, I'm not going to lie, I'll be nervous. I'll be taking my rescue remedy.
Yeah, body
I'll be
protector on. Yeah.
I will be nervous. I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything wrong with saying you're nervous. And also for the younger generation, I always say to my daughter, there shouldn't be any force to do it. We're there to do it, to enjoy it, and and just to have fun. I mean, ponies are fun. It's when it becomes not fun, then perhaps
Yeah,
we have to, take a step back. But yeah,
absolutely.
no, I mean, give us a follow, give us a like. You
Yeah.
will see some good laughs. There are some good videos on there of the falls. But yeah, give us a follow, give us a like, and yeah, thank you for having me.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thanks for coming. I really appreciate that.
No,
And
you're
good
more
luck
than
with
welcome.
everything. We'll see you on
Thank you
the
very
1st of
much.
January. See
See you
you.
later.
Okay. Bye. Bye.